Casey Stubbs is somebody who has been a client and now a friend of ours for several years. Casey's a freaking genius. Casey and I actually had dinner 2 weeks ago, a week ago, in Raleigh, North Carolina. He was kind enough to drive like an hour and a half to come hang out and have dinner. Casey, thank you. It's such a privilege hanging out. Casey's somebody who has had an enormous build. He's one of the best audience builders, list builders, marketers that I think I know. Casey just had a massive exit for one business and he started another one. Casey, just as an example, right before you sold the business, how many leads did you have coming in monthly or weekly or daily, however you measure?
So I would average probably about 5,000 leads per month into my lead funnel on average.
That's insane. Okay. And he's not doing paid traffic, folks. This guy is an organic lead gen beast. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
let's talk it out. He's been an
I'm
awesome client.
impressed. I'm impressed. Casey, great to have you here. Man, this is the end zone, right? But there was a beginning when you just before you started working with Chris, and you were in the position, I'm sure, where a lot of the people here are right now. Can you maybe just give us an insight as to what life was like then, and some of the things that you were coming up against in your business?
Oh yeah, great question. So if we're going right before I met Chris, the key difference was I was still really good at getting leads. That's a whole nother story in itself. But what I didn't have was the ability to get a high end product, right? So what I would primarily do, my business was scaling lead gen, right? So I would get leads for a very low dollar cost, and then I would just sell the leads to different bidders and small margins, right? So you got a
Yeah.
lot of leads, small margins, and it was a great business, really worked well. And I didn't know much about how to really take that and go to the next level with it to get the high ticket coaching program status. Something I always wanted to do. Ended up running into Chris just randomly in an event, which is again why we go to events, right?
Events,
And
yeah.
so for Chris, he made a sale and a friend, and I made a friend and learned some great skills from a truly excellent business mentor.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's incredible feedback. Into the chat, guys, if you resonate with that idea of not being able to charge high ticket, you're not quite there yet. Maybe you're, yes, Sue, I remember you said that just before, yeah. And somebody else said that they, Brenda, so not there. Excellent, not there at all. Awesome. Okay, so listen up to what Casey's going to share with you because this is very relevant to all of you. Casey, you just mentioned that Chris was like a really, really amazing mentor. You obviously made a decision. He got a client. You got a shift in direction in your business. What did you do like within the program to change so that you could get that high ticket? And just let me actually just start that by saying what identity shift needed to happen within you. I think that's a really important thing to maybe start with.
That's a great question. Identity shift. So I think the biggest thing is perspective on what your overall goals are, right? Because you can either be the cheapest guy. If you're going to be the cheapest, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there is a business model for that, but it's actually harder to scale. Like if you look at Walmart, right? They're the cheapest retail store. They're the biggest, but in order to really make money, you've got to go so big, right? You've got to go so massive. You've got to build this huge infrastructure that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of times a lot of money to build the pipeline, to build all of that. And so if you want to scale, kept hitting ceilings. And if you want to scale a little quicker, you could either be the best at something and narrow your target, and just kind of like an identity shift is understanding that mindset. Either you're going to go really wide with a small profit target, you're going to go narrow and get more for the value. And so understanding that, and then also on the self side of things, understanding that I really did have the experience, I really did have the knowledge, I really did have the ability to help people get the results that we need to be able to have, right? So for Chris, he's coaching, he's got to be able to get results for people, which he does. And so for me, I had to really believe that I could get those results. It's hard to do what we do. We can't do what we do if we can't actually get people results. So we have to come to grips with that. We have
Yeah.
to get people the results that they're looking for, or that's got to be the first thing.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Into the chat, guys. Type impact into the chat if you know with absolute certainty that you can get great results for your clients. With absolute certainty. Beautiful. This is really, really solid. So Casey, what model did you shift to? What was so you obviously you're in this low ticket, like very, very broad, wide. How did you narrow it down? What did you end up doing?
So I started with group coaching. And that was, again, that was one of the great things about working with Chris is because when I first started, my messaging wasn't exactly where it needed to be for the group coaching because I'm really good at lead gen. I'm great at creating landing pages and getting really quick leads, making something short term, something that I know people will pop their email in for. But I wasn't really equipped for the right type of messaging to convert over to group coaching, right? So that's what I did. I converted to group coaching and was able to get a pretty decent group. Just a little note for everybody that's getting involved is that it took me a lot of failure, right? So I mean, it was actually just insane
Yeah.
because of the number of calls that I had with no sales. I mean, it was just really ugly. But that was okay. So that was one thing is so you just got to keep at it, keep adjusting, keep learning, and every opportunity to get in front of somebody is a good opportunity. And um, yeah. I mean, I had the other thing is that this is my strength, right? Everybody's got strengths and weaknesses, but this is my strength that I leverage, and that is when I was in the program, I would get a checklist of things that I needed to get done, and I would execute them quickly,
Beautiful.
right? So
Yeah.
if you've got to knock stuff out as fast as possible, it's great to get into when you're in a workshop with Chris, he gives you something to do every week. You don't get able to get off the call without an action step. And
Yeah.
so that was the key, just one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, beautiful. I love what you were talking about failure, and I'm seeing Buffett behind you there. He looks a little bit like Colonel Sanders a little bit. I remember the story. Colonel Sanders got like 1,000 no's before somebody said yes, and suddenly we have KFC all over the world. And I know that Buffett has failed a lot in his life, and the reason why is he keeps showing up, and that's why he's one of the wealthiest and most successful people in the world.
I just heard
So
a quote yesterday. I'm going to jump in. I just heard a quote
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
I don't know where it came from, but it said that your biggest breakthrough usually comes after your biggest failure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I resonate with that. It's very, very, very true. Very, very, very true. If you've had an experience like that in your life, guys, type impact into the chat where your biggest breakthrough has come from one of your biggest failures. That's really, really cool. So, Casey, let's talk about growth because you had a successful business before. Now you've had an exit from the business. Through going through the program with Chris, what sort of growth did you see in your business? If you're open to talking money, great. If you just want to talk percentages, really, really cool. But just to give these guys an insight as to what's really possible when you focus.
Yeah. So, right. So I really didn't get a ton of growth. I was able to launch my first group coaching program, and we talk about biggest failures. So right around that same time, I had a ton of personal stuff that kind of hit me, right? And so just with family things, circumstances, just my age, maybe midlife waves or whatever you want to call it, it was very challenging. And so that's one of the reasons why my exit happened. So I didn't really have a lot of growth, but uh, because I did the exit, it worked out really well. I'm starting something new now. I started something in February, and I've got a really nice trajectory, and I'm
Beautiful.
taking these same skills and I'm launching a really cool coaching program right now.
Mhm.
And so not only didn't really give me the growth right then and there, not because of it didn't work, but because of my circumstance. However, I have a skill set now that's going to really launch me. And
Casey, you just relaunched after an exit. Congrats to all that. You've done a great job with the personal stuff too. Folks, he's an awesome human. I'm very impressed. The between now and the end of the year, you got 4 months left. Do you mind sharing a ballpark of what you think the monthly gross income will be December 31, the run rate you're going to be having?
Well, my target is I want to hit 50K a month in revenue. That's my
Nice.
target. So
Yeah.
so basically in a year going from zero to making 50K a month, that's my goal. And then next year I want to do 100K a month.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
so
Nice,
I'm
guys.
launching a program right now where it's going to be a $25,000 options coaching program.
Brilliant.
And
Mm,
so
nice.
I've built out all the sales pages. It's actually on the finishing touches today. Should be done by the end of the today. So
Beautiful.
I'm hoping to have
Amazing
some
stuff.
clients locked in this week.
Excellent. We love hearing that. I want to ask the audience here. Okay, so if you were to go from zero to $600,000 in the space of 1 year in your business, put into the chat how that would make you feel if you were
Mm.
able to do that. Learning the skill set that Casey's learned, how would that make you feel to be able to do that? Awesome, fabulous, amazing, free. I would feel great. And then 1.2 million in the year following. 1.2 million in the year following.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to just reference here, guys. This is the power of community because you've got people all around you right now. And Casey, did you feel this in the program as well? You had winners around you, right? That were in community with you, that were supporting you along the journey, and the messaging and the quality of the conversations in that group were really powerful because everyone was on mission. Would you agree?
Yes, yeah, everybody's willing to do what they need to do to make the adjustments that they need to do to put the work in. Was really great with the connections. You know, Chris and his team were always really good because whatever everybody needed something a little different, right? And so one person could help somebody else on this. Like, you know, if you need leads, I'm always able to help with some tips. Um,
Yeah, I
just
feel
a
like
few
I need to
things.
talk to you about getting leads, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So a few things here and there, and everybody's got the thing about a community, right? It's one of the greatest things that everybody has to have multiple communities because we are all great people, but we're all very short-sighted. And we all have blinders, we all have difficulties, we all have things we don't see. And when you're involved in a group, everybody has a gift to give, right? There's no person, no matter what your strength or weakness is, there's no person that doesn't have something very special to give. And so when you go into a group, you're like, what's my gift? What is my gift to the group? And there's a lot of great things that everybody has to offer.
And I love this mentality, and this is something to consider for the next couple of days, guys, and then when you continue to work with us in the future, is that one of my things is that contribute more than you take from any community that you're in. And the reason why is something really powerful. There was a period in my business, I was in a community for about a year and a half, and there was a period where I went into a slump and things were not good. Like the income was not coming in. I'd gone from like $100,000 months down to like a month where I made only $10,000. I couldn't pay my team, any of that sort of stuff. And I went into the community and said, I need help. And the people fell over themselves to help me. People jumped on calls with me. And one person got on a call with me and said, you know, this one tip that you gave me a year ago, it made me $2 million. I will give you whatever you need right now to support you. So get in community. When you're here, give, 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 give. You will receive so much. And Casey, that's a really, really great call out there. One last question for you just before we close this out. If there was one piece of advice you could give to everybody that's in the room right now, what would that be?
Well, I would say that the number one thing is try to look at the big picture and understand that things aren't easy, that but put in the work, it's worth it, and don't give up hope. You know, hope is the thing that keeps us going, no matter how difficult things get. If you keep hope, you can pull through, but if you lose hope, you're done.
That's incredible feedback. That's so good, man. Thank you so much for being with us here today. Guys, put some impacts into the chat to thank Casey Stubbs for being with us.
Thank
It's
you.